All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the RGVMPO Policy Board meeting of Wednesday, March the 1st, 2023. Let's go to item number 2, roll call.
Good afternoon. For the record, this meeting was posted to our website and the the Secretary of State website on Friday, February the 24th, 2023 at 12:03. Roll call. Cameron County,
Present.
Hidalgo County,
Present.
Stark County, City of Brownsville, City of McAllen, City of Edinburgh, City of Mission, City of Harlingen, City of FAR, City of San Benito, Cameron County RMA, Hidalgo County RMA, Valley Metro,
Here.
TxDOT, LRGBTC,
Here.
RGB Partnership. We have quorum.
All right, thank you. No public comments? All right, item 4, consent agenda, approval of minutes for the January 25th, 2023 meeting.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Fuentes. We have a second by Stark County. All in favor? All opposed, motion carries. Item 2, new RGVMPO data request form.
Good afternoon. Today I'm here to present the new form that we have generated in-house in order to request data requests through us. On the projector, there should be a slide of our UMAP. It's a disclaimer now. Whenever you do go to our, it's just turned off. On our website, it'll say now click here on our disclaimer for UMAP, and basically when that link is clicked, it goes on to our survey, our online form. And once that form's submitted, we get that submitted to us, and we get a notification saying somebody's asking data from us. And on there it says what information, who's the entity asking for it, what is the information going to be used, what information and what format you would like it, and how soon do you need it. And that's it. That's the new form for us. Is there any questions?
You got that? All right. Any questions?
Is there a fee associated to that?
No, all of our information is public information for us to share as long as it's one of our local partners. If it's someone from a consultant, we would ask for our local partner to request the information for us so that they can share, so that they can know that that information did come from us for free.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Berlin.
Thank you.
Item 3, 2022 Thoroughfare Plan Amendments. Luis.
Good afternoon. We've wrapped up the Thoroughfare 2022 Thoroughfare Plan Amendment process. We received a total of 8 amendments this time around, which being from the City of Edinburgh. We have some that are reducing. So we have Trenton Road is being reduced from 120 to 100 feet of right-of-way. We have Rogers Road from Rogers to FM 1925 reduced from 120 to 80. And this is the last one from the City of Edinburgh. It's De La Rosa Street, and that one is actually being removed from the thoroughfare plan completely. Keeping in mind that our thoroughfare plan only records right-of-ways of 80 feet and above, even though the local governments may have those on their local thoroughfare plans. But for the MPO's purposes, only 80 feet and above. The City of McAllen had one amendment as well, and that's East Yuma. They're removing that one from the thoroughfare plan with the RGVMPO. We have Hidalgo County Precinct 1, Baker Road. They're wanting to reduce that from 120 to 100 feet. And we have Hidalgo County Precinct 4, Jaguar Drive. That one, they're removing it from the thoroughfare plan as well with the RGVMPO. Hidalgo County Precinct 4, they have FM 1423, and they're increasing that one from 120 to 150. And the last one is from the City of Donna. This one is FM 1423, which is Valverde, and they're increasing that one from a one. I don't have the note on that one, but I believe it's a.
So it's 120 to 150.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's a 120 to 150. It cut off on my table here when I printed it out. So those are the 8 amendments included for this time around for the 2022 Thoroughfare Plan Amendment process. Since we only received amendments from Hidalgo County, We're gonna go ahead and, in March, to present to the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for final approval to get those amendments in the county level. Come April, we're gonna go ahead and make those amendments internally in our UMAP, which is our interactive map online. That's where all the amendments are gonna be reflected, these included. And starting at that point is when local governments can start reviewing their thoroughfare plans to make sure that everything jives and everything matches up with what we have on our UMAP, and amendments can start coming in at that time. Even though officially in August of this year is when we start kicking off the official thoroughfare plan process again, and we'll be here again for approval next year to get them all moving forward and applied to our interactive map. If there are any questions about the thoroughfare plan, this is a resolution, so it is an action item.
No question, but just, we only have one Commissioners Court left in Hidalgo County this month, so
Okay,
the 21st, I believe, so
I'll
just
make sure to get on
we
that.
have it
Yes,
on
sir,
there.
appreciate that, thank you.
Is that the same with regards to the other entities?
Yes, well, it's only going through, we've already got letters of approval that were included actually in the packet, but the county, we do get approval physically through this resolution.
All right, and I just want to make sure that you've already met with the other cities.
Yes, sir.
McAllen and Edinburgh, and obviously Mary, you're fine with, okay. Roy? Okay, all right. Is there a motion? Any further discussion? All right, if not, is there a motion? Motion by Mayor Edinburgh, second by Pete. TxDOT, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 4, adoption of the 2023 Safety Performance Targets, PM1, as reported by TxDOT Resolution 2023-05.
Hi, yes, good afternoon, policy members. As mentioned in the agenda and background, MAP 21 in the FAST Act requires MPOs to integrate performance measures into the transportation planning process. Safety performance targets are established annually by TxDOT. I'll go to the next slide here. States and MPOs collaborate to set targets to establish performance measures. The requirement for these safety measures is an annual requirement, as we've been doing since 2019. I would like to mention that we have started work with the Alliance Transportation Group on looking at these targets a lot closer and analyzing CRIS data as provided by TxDOT. And this will be an ongoing process, but for now in the interim, we are recommending approving the targets as reported by TxDOT for the 2023 safety targets, which are the following 5 performance measures: number of fatalities, rate of fatalities, number of serious injuries, rate of serious injuries, and number of non-motorized fatalities and non-motorized serious injuries. And this is for the year 2023 as a 5-year average, which would be approving here today, which is our recommendation to be approved. And just a little bit on the actual FAST Act and MAP 21 requirements on this slide here. This is an annual process, and we will be, like I said, looking at this, analyzing the data a lot closer for those projects, that we have in the short and long-range plans. So our recommendation today is to approve the resolution before you for the 2023 safety performance targets. If there are any questions, I can take those at this time. So they change yearly. It's a 5-year average, so last year. No, the performance measures are the same, yes, sir.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion approved by Mayor Mendez, second by Mayor Mission. All in favor? All opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5, discussion and update on the annual bike ped program. Ms. Garcia.
Good afternoon, honorable members of our Transportation Policy Board. I know you all hear from me a lot. I present regularly for funding management, project management. But today what I want to discuss with you all is the program management side of the bike ped program. We do have adopted RGVMPO active transportation plan, and our 3 goals there are for connectivity, accessibility, and community health. I don't want to spend too much time on it. This is online. But based off of those 3 goals, there are areas of success that were identified, and those are 5 areas. We have planning and design, policy and program, education and encouragement, safety, and active tourism. And through the plan, we have a list of recommended initiatives, which entities should lead, the action, and the measurement of success. And so each category area of success has its own recommendations and initiatives. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you about today. You can see here, that, again, those are those 5 areas of success. And the total is like 6 for planning and design, 4 for policy, program, et cetera. And so far, we've initiated about 2 new initiatives per success area, with the exception of active tourism. And I think that's because a lot of the other work is going to be critical to how we promote and use it for tourism. And so for the facility and design, this is something that was kicked off already. Your slides have information related to what's in the plan. But this slide here shows that in 2021, we kicked off the initiative with our RGVMPO GIS team. Thanks, guys, and Mel. And we went to the BPAC, the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee, to do a quality checking of our data. There is a web page where data can still be edited or amended if we missed a bike route, or if we have some other details, like for a trail, maybe we have it labeled as concrete and we want to know that it's asphalt. And this is just good for asset management and monitoring development of our infrastructure. So in 2023, what we're going to do is start working with our transit partners more closely. This is an initiative both for the Regional Transportation Advisory Panel, but also for ourselves and what our goals are. And so outside by the sign-in sheet, there is an agenda for a meeting that we're going to have on Friday with our transit partners. And so you can see now how we're kicking off this and continuing to evolve the programs that we have initiated. And what you see below those 3 bullet points is kind of like, check, we developed some regional standards. We completed a facility inventory, but that's going to be ongoing as far as amendments. And then we're developing that strategy for cyclical reviews and annual updates. So I won't spend too much time. These are the visuals, and they're kind of layered on top of each other in the slide. We started off with some surveying to develop some standards. This is like what's on our website, how we're using off-street trails. We're looking to collect more surface material data, the width of the trail data, and then some additional notes just in case maintenance, bridges, other kinds of concerns, parking lots, areas. So we want to like monitor that and keep track of it. This is for on-street. It's a little bit different. We have limits to and from and our length, and we want to know if there's signage or markings, pavement markings on the road. But this is what our map actually looks like right now. We have it labeled as active transportation map. But once we incorporate the transit data, we're likely going to change that name again, and it will probably be multimodal map, but we're still working through that. On the bicycle and pedestrian counts, so right now the lead is Melanie Rodriguez, one of our planner and GIS specialists. And for bicycle and pedestrian counts, Chris Nelson has been critical to the success of this program. And you can see that in 2020, we started with a grant agreement working with the LRGVDC through some legacy foundation funds. Fast forward, we did agreement coordination, Texas Transportation Institute provided training, and counters were installed. Last year in 2022, the permanent counters kept reporting, and temporary counters were deployed for 2 weeks in new areas. And so this is a list of those routes. That's a picture of the training that we held in San Benito. Thank you, San Benito. This is the eco counter back end of it. And here is a snapshot of the current data throughout the region that we have here. So this is behind the scenes info, and this is the publicly available data that's through TTI. Again, these are just layered on top of each other. I didn't want to bulk up your packet, but this is the data that you can publicly access through the Texas Transportation Bicycle Count Exchange. So I'm mindful of time, so I'm going to keep burning through. The Complete Streets is a policy and program initiative. In 2021, the BIL changed some new federal requirements. And so through 2022, Chris also did a literature review regionally, looking at Brownsville's Complete Streets policy and working with Better Block. Next week, we're having a workshop with TxDOT and ATG on Complete Streets, March 8th. So this is, again, an image of that flyer for the workshop. This is what FHWA is putting out, more and more information regarding Complete Streets. And this is a memorandum where I was kind of highlighting how things are changing. The federal government is waiving matching costs, I believe, and this is just from January 5th, 2023. So I wanted to show you all as our elected officials that there's still information coming out. Changes are still going to be, we're going to be reviewing them and working with our partners here regionally as we can. So advisory committees, per the plan, it's recommended that we participate in several committees and collaborate. And so through that, we have participated in, obviously, we lead a bicycle and pedestrian advisory committee. We have a Cara Cara Trails Advisory Committee, and I am a member of the TX Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. And so in 2020, we had bylaws adopted, and we adopted the active transportation plan. 2021, we did a TASA call for projects and program new Category 9 funding. In 2022, we had a call for members, and we appointed new members, including Valley Off-Road Bicycling Association, the Mayor of Sullivan City, and Valley Metro, to name a few. We have recently amended our bylaws a little bit, and we did establish a TASA working group so we could kick off the TASA call for projects, which did successfully kick off today. In your packet is a list of the existing or the current members and their term limits. And then the other thing I wanted to highlight is just TxDOT has its own strategies. They have a strategic direction report for their bike ped initiatives. They have an active tourism trails study. And then Cara Cara Trails also has its own areas. And so I just wanted to paint a snapshot that there's multiple advisory committees that are regional or statewide in which our region is participating and engaged in. So for bike share, I have to compliment the Valley Metro and the LRGVDC. I do little to nothing. Horacio does all the work. I just ask Horacio to present quarterly at our BPAC meetings, and he so graciously does. And so next month at the April BPAC meeting, we'll have an update for B-Cycle. And what I wanted to just highlight for you all here is our current membership rates, which are there on the side, whether it's a 1-hour pass or an annual membership. Here's some old data. Based on the last survey I sent out to our bike ped advisory committee, there is interest in more bike share, but we do still have challenges, and some of these things need to be worked out. I like to emphasize that managing a bike share program, especially regionally, requires more operational considerations, maintenance costs, and so the challenge to expanding or improving our current bike share program is going to lie in that operational and maintenance investments and support. Go ahead.
Do you have anything from 2022 to show 2021?
Yeah, I think that's coming out next month. I didn't have that's the first quarterly update, and so I used what I had readily available, but I can bring that back or email it later. Yes, yeah. Yeah, so you can see McKelvey Parks in Harlingen. I think the Second Street is McAllen. And so these are by location: Belden Trails in Brownsville, Linear Park and Dean Porter Parks in Brownsville. And so we'll get updated data. We have a web page on our website, and so as soon as I can do that, I'll update the web page with current data, more current data. And yeah, I put up there the next update is April. So soon we'll.
It's seamless.
It is.
It's seamless, you can
Seamless.
use.
Actually, there's several other stations around the state that you can use it. Austin, San Antonio,
Houston.
Fort Worth.
I'm not gonna buy from here to there.
No, if you get an annual membership, your annual membership works in any city.
I just wanna make sure that people from here that Trey and Brownfield, I can do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not gonna collapse
No.
at that moment. If I do it, I can actually leave my bike there. Like,
Yes,
Airbnb,
absolutely.
same system?
Same, yes, sir.
If you can get out of car first.
Safely.
Let's stay on bikes for
There's a
now.
TASA program call. Okay, thank you. But we'll update more information. And yes, I love that it's seamless with an annual membership. I could be in San Antonio for the weekend and use my membership, which is more affordable in the Valley. So the media awareness campaign, I feel like we've kind of touched on this, and it started with our traffic safety initiative and the distribution of helmets and bike lights. For 2023, through some comments from BPAC, we're looking to do maybe some regional public service announcements, some safety initiatives. And so I'm hoping to work with Javier Dominguez, our planner, to plan and consider what that might look like and if we're able to do that in this year. So I think regional messages, I know TxDOT provides a lot of safety information, but if we wanted to tie it, make it more regional, bilingual, Tex-Mex, we could definitely showcase our infrastructure and have something that caters to our community and our region. And so these are just some images of that distribution. And again, we do have a webpage dedicated. This is where everything is under projects, active transportation, implementation, and then we're building out these pages and keeping those updated. For law enforcement trainings, this was one of the safety success areas. We did host 2 hybrid law enforcement trainings, one for Hidalgo County, one for Cameron. Well, anyone could go to either. It was just more about providing more opportunities than one to attend the training. I think that was very successful. It was kind of an introduction to safety statistics, traffic safety statistics, with our law enforcement officers. I think I'd like to continue doing trainings with them, but we'll see where the demand is and where the capacity is in '23. These are just some images of how we incentivize the officers to attend these trainings with those safety materials. So Vision Zero is the last one I think I covered. Yes, it is. And it's also a safety initiative. Javier Dominguez has been the lead. What you're gonna see is that it's maybe not being called Vision Zero, but it's starting with our Safe Streets for All and the development of a safety action plan through this. And so I think that's really the message here, is that, you know, the safe system approach principles are applicable to a Vision Zero or a Road to Zero. And I'm sharing some safety statistics at the end, also older, because they were readily available. And so this is just kind of the message, is to continue providing safe infrastructure and hopefully programs that complement the infrastructure we're investing in as a region. Any questions?
Maybe, let the board know what today is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So today is the day that we have opened the TASA call for projects for the fiscal year 23 and 24 funding. We have about $9 million that we're gonna program, federal amount. And so we're gonna have our first workshop March 15th at 1:30 p.m. and our second workshop March 22nd at 1:30 p.m., virtual only. And so if we have any questions there or haven't addressed anything through our program guide, application, or scoring criteria, we will be responding to any questions by March 31st. And there are some handouts outside. If you want to pick them up, they're more descriptive. But that's the big news. We likely won't be coming to the policy board for programming until September.
Well, how long is the application period gonna be?
It's going to be from March 1st to May 31st. So it's a
Make sure
sufficient.
that everybody's aware of that. That's a pretty tight timeline.
May 31st is the deadline to submit the application. We will be reviewing applications in June and July. So presentations and evaluations will happen in August. And then September, it will come to TAC and policy.
Okay. Any questions for Eva? Good report,
Thank you.
All right, before we get to the next item, I'll just advise everybody, the status report should be in your folder, and depending on how long we go, we may or may not get to that later on, in case there's any concerns or questions with regard to that. So, number 5, executive session. Item A, personnel matters pursuant to 551074, to deliberate employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of public officer or employee regarding executive director for the RGVMPO. Is there a motion to go into executive session? Motion by Mayor Yes, I need a motion. I have a motion to return to open session by Mayor Garza. Second by Mayor Samanito. All in favor? All opposed, motion carries. There is no action with regards to executive session. We're going to pass on item 6. Well, real quickly, Andrew, was there anything that you needed to advise the board on with regards to the executive director's report?
I just have the update that's contained in your packet. The UTP numbers came out. I think that's pretty important.
That's what we were talking about, okay?
Yes, sir. Oh, got a delay. I apologize. The UTP numbers came out in a presentation given last week at the TxDOT Commission. We did not, while I applaud, it's $100 billion over the 10 years, and that's the first time. Unfortunately, for the funding that directly impacts the MPO Category 7 and Category 2, we saw very minimal increases. Category 7 only had an increase of 0.20% over 10 years, and I believe it's about, looking at my notes, 64% for Category 2 over the next 10 years. So unfortunately, it's not as much as we had hoped given to those funding sources. I will say a tremendous amount of money. I understand it's needed to go to preventive maintenance, to urban corridors, to the energy sector up in the Panhandle for the destruction of the roads that they have up there of all the heavy equipment and that. And a large amount, about 15 million additional, went to discretionary funds or strategic priority they call it now. So that's where the bulk of the funding went. We do not have the numbers, Chairman, on the by area for MPOs yet, but as soon as staff receives those, we will share those numbers with everybody on the board, so you can have an idea of where we're looking at for our region in the way of increase.
All right.
Oh, excellent.
All right. Any questions? All right. We're going to pass on the status reports from TxDOT, Cameron County RMA, and Hidalgo County RMA. Is there any other old business or new? If not, does the board have any issue with changing the next meeting from the 29th of March to April the 5th, a week later? All right. You got something?
Just checking our calendar because we have updates coming. I just need 1 second. I apologize.
Sure.
Rudy? Any concern on that?
No, sir. We'll be looking at beginning public involvement March 20th, but we'll send out a reminder, calendar invite for any events as well. But looking at the dates of March 20th to April the 20th for public involvement for the May revision cycle of updates to our long-range and short-range plan with the city. But we'll keep everybody informed on that.
And
We'll have some public meetings scheduled as well.
Thank you, Rudy. And I'll double check my travel. I'm supposed to be at the rail conference in Dallas the day before, but I am returning that day, so I'll just make sure I get an early enough flight.
April the 4th and 5th?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So the next meeting will be April the 5th at 1:30 p.m. All right. Motion to adjourn? Motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.